Hello. So it's the day after Strabismus surgery. It's 6 a.m. in the morning because I didn't sleep very well. And there's birds chirping outside, so good morning, everyone. I thought I would explain exactly what happened because when I was looking for videos or advice on whether or not I wanted to do this surgery, there was a lot of American videos. There was a lot of really glossy, sponsored by the surgeon videos, and I found them quite helpful, but at the same time, I think some of them freaked me out before I went in, and then others sort of gave me information I didn't really know. So I thought I would do a couple of videos. There's going to be a tips video. There's going to be a how much does surgery actually cost private Moorfield video. And there's going to be like daily updates as to what goes on actually really happens in the whole process of this. So this one today is exactly what happened yesterday, and this is the absolute truth. Does it hurt? What do they do? Real video. First of all, because I know this is what you really want to know, because this is all I wanted to know when somebody was doing a video, is does it hurt? Is it scary? No. I swear, I promise you, the reason I'm making this video is to make you feel calmer, because I was shitting myself before surgery, thinking that it was going to be the worst thing ever. I'll tell you all about the whole process, but I literally used to like YouTube videos before to try and figure out whether or not it would, like, whether I had the guts to do it. And to be honest, I wish somebody had just literally told. I'm quite like a person that likes information of like, oh, well, what's happening? So I wish that somebody had literally step by step told me what was happening, but actually been like, and that bit hurt, that bit didn't, da, da, da. So this is the truth. Honestly, keep watching. Do your eye. Do it. I think, honestly, if you're a person that's got to the stage where you want to have this, it's been bothering you as much as it used to bother me. Like, I had a lazy eye in this eye that used to turn outwards. I'm 36 and I've never had surgery before. And then I'll do a journey of how I got there in a different video, because I'm sure people find long videos really boring. But summary is I started off on the NHS and then decided to go to Moorfields private in the end because of the speed and because I wanted a particular doctor to do it. So yesterday I was at Moorfields at the private doctor surgery, which is the 4th floor in the building in City Road one. So it's like off City Road, that's that big one that you go into the main entrance of. 4th floor. It's called something like, I love that I was there yesterday, I can't remember it. It's not the Cumberland ward, it's the Chamberlain ward, I think. It was really nice. So from start to finish, they asked me to, I'm a bit dopey in this video, please forgive, I'm like, but I literally come out of surgery and not slept a lot, but it's fine. They first of all, they tell you to fast from 7:30 in the morning, because you have to make sure that you don't have anything in your body for the anaesthesia, because you have general anaesthetic. So from 7, I actually didn't eat since the night before. I think I ate at like 8:30 at night and finished at like 9, and then I didn't eat again until after the surgery. But when I woke up in the morning, I was really thirsty, so you are allowed to sip like bits of water. So that's cool. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that was a lifesaver because I was so thirsty. I think I was really anxious as well. I'd wound myself up a little bit in my head. Like, I've never had general anaesthetic before. I've never actually had surgery before, so I was really scared. And then, again, looking back on it, don't be scared. Honestly, I'm going to tell you the whole thing. It's not scary at all. It's actually quite chill. But then I was called in for 11:30. So you're allowed in 15 minutes before at the moment because of the current world pandemic. So I turned up, went up to the 4th floor where you walk straight in, and then they put you in a room, like your own little bedroom. It's got a little bathroom in there. It's got a little safety deposit box for your valuables. It's got a bed. It's got 2 chairs. It's got a TV. It's a little room. They put you in there, and that confused me because I was like, don't I need to sign in or something? And they're like, no, the nurse comes. So you sit in your room, and in my mind, I thought, I'm in at 11:30, my operation will be 12, I'll be out by like 2. That doesn't happen. You all sort of arrive at a similar time, and it depends on the day of what time you're in. So when I arrived at 11:30, by 12 o'clock the nurse came in and told me that she did all my vitals and everything and checked everything for me, like blood, that all the paperwork was done, like they do it in your room. They did blood pressure, they did oxygen levels, they test everything, like just your vitals before. And then they tell you that the surgeon and then the anesthesiologist will come later on to talk to you, and they're the ones that give you more information. So I find out, so probably about half an hour later, actually before that, a lady came about 20 minutes later to take my order for lunch. So random. It just made me laugh because I was starving at that point and all I wanted was a coffee, because obviously normally I get up and have a coffee. Oh my God, literally. I was like, can someone please give me a coffee? But they didn't let you until obviously after anaesthesia. So a lady came, takes your order of what you want after the operation. So I'm not even kidding. I think I like regressed into childhood mode and was like, I just want a jacket potato and baked beans and cheese. Fucking random, sorry to swear, but I don't know why I picked that. And then apple crumble and ice cream, and then tea, a cup of tea. So that was ordered, and then they put it up. The lady does like a little menu for you, and then she goes. And then the surgeon came, and then she tells you the order that you're in. And on my surgery that day, there were 3 people in that day with her. There was a little kid before me on the kids ward, so they went first. So if there's a children on your roster, I think they go first, fair. Then there was me, and then there was another person. So she could tell me at that point that she thought that I'd be in at about 3, because if the first surgery goes okay and there's no complications, then you go in. It normally takes, I think, an hour and a half, and then they prep you, and then you go in, and then there's another one. So she could tell me at that point that my operation was going to be about 3 o'clock. It was probably going to be about an hour and a half. Then there's 2-hour recovery, and then you're allowed out if you recover in a chilled way or no complications. And then the anesthesiologist came afterwards, and actually he was the one he made me feel so much better. Like, he came in, was just like the nicest guy ever, was just chatting away. My glasses keep sliding down because this patch is so big. And he was like, okay, I'm going to tell you everything. You're not going to feel anything. Like, you'll be fine. Oh, and also, like, I hate needles, so I was freaking out about a couple of things. So I didn't want to have, when you go into an operation that you always see, like, they put like a little thing in your hand, a needle. And I was like a little bit scared of that, thinking, oh God, I'm going to have this whole needle put, it's called a cannula, put in my veins, and I was going to sit there. And I've had it like once before when I've had a drip in hospital, and it used to like throb. So, and then I was saying to them, like, I'm scared of needles. He's like, oh, don't worry. And then they put all this numbing cream on my hand, and then they sealed it. And he's like, well, you won't be able to feel the cannula in. And I don't know if it's because it's NHS or because it's private that they did that, or if they do it on both, I don't know. I'm just speaking about my example. But they put numbing cream on my whole hand. And honestly, I promise you, for someone who doesn't like needles, when I finally went to have that put in, I didn't feel a thing, not even a scratch. I couldn't even feel it go in. And I had it in there for hours, like probably the whole time in the surgery and afterwards. So I think that's probably like 5 hours. Didn't feel a thing. I promise you don't feel the needles. That was really nice. And then I told him I was really scared. And he was just trying to make me laugh, which was really cool. One thing, I've got acrylic nails on. No one told me before that check your hospital, because some hospitals don't let you wear acrylic nails, because when you get your blood oxygen monitored, they put that thing on, and a lot of the time you're meant to have no nail varnish for sure, no nail varnish. Luckily I didn't have nail varnish on, but also they sometimes don't like acrylic nails because they wonder if it'll get in the way of the oxygen. So check with your hospital before, because they've all got different policies, but they let me do it. I think in the end they said there's something like, they put one here, but I think they monitor my ear as well, like for oxygen. But apparently when they monitor your oxygen, they monitor like the nail bed here to see if the colour changes, to see if your oxygen comes in. So sometimes fake nails gets in the way. Little trick. I never knew that and I wasn't told that, and I was really worried when I got there that because of this I might have had my surgery cancelled, but he was really nice and he said no. He worked around it for me, which is why I think they put that little thing here. So then the anaesthesiologist was telling me that basically he tells you what happens in the process, and what does happen is you get called down, you walk. In my case, I don't know if it's true in every hospital and depending on the country you're in, but Moorfields private on city roads, I walked to my surgery. So, oh, I forgot to tell you. So the nurse comes in and puts socks on you. You know those flight socks, but they're like blood socks. They put them on. That's standard for all general anaesthetic in the UK. So don't freak out. They're not saying you got blood clots, but they put these like really snazzy old, mine were green and they look like grandma socks. They're actually quite comfy, but I had them on. So basically you have to walk to surgery in your socks, in the gown that's got like the tie at the back thing. So you have to wear big pants because your bum's out. And then they give you a dressing gown. Also, big tip, if you've got hair like mine, you have to take a hair bubble because you have to tie your hair up, because they give you a little what do you call, one of those little hair mask things to hide your hair, but you can't wear a metal hair bubble, it can't have a metal thing on it because you're not allowed anything metal when you go under. You're not allowed any jewellery. Don't even bother wearing jewellery because, to be honest, when you're so dopey at the end you can't get the jewellery back on, and there's no point. You just make life simple, just wear really baggy clothes and simple stuff. Anyway, so I walked down surgery. So I walked in a pair of Birkenstocks because also I was a bit dopey at the going there because I didn't have my glasses or anything on. So I can see, but I can't really see. I don't want to wear complicated shoes. So I wore a slip-on pair of Birkenstocks to walk down surgery in my gear. Looked literally like, I looked really scared. It was really funny. Then you go into the anaesthesiologist room, which is basically a side room in the theatre where you meet the anaesthesiologist and a nurse. And then from there, when you're under, you're taken into surgery. Then from surgery, you're taken back to a recovery room where they wake you up. They don't wake you up in your private room on the floor. They wake you up in a room downstairs in surgery. And then you wake up there. And then when you're ready, they take you back upstairs to your private room. And then that's where probably within like 30 minutes you feel a bit more awake, and you're allowed food. But to tell you as well though, honestly, I psychologically had built it up in my mind that I was going to go like straight in, straight out, like working in London and being really busy and whatever. I was like, oh, it'll just be like, it's not. Be prepared for wait. So when I got there, from the time I got in at 11:30 to 3 p.m, I was on my own. I didn't take anyone because I was cocky and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. If you can, and if the hospital lets you, I would take somebody, or I actually took my laptop and ended up watching, I'm not even kidding, I sound so basic right now, I ended up watching Twilight, the movie, because I just wanted something so mind-numbingly like simple and dumb and reminded me of like not a stressful time like 10 years ago or whatever. I watched little of that to try and take my mind off it, because the worst thing about this surgery, I promise you, is the anxiety of it before, because waiting in that room becomes medical. And that sounds really weird, but like I've been building up for my eye surgery for so long that I didn't actually think about going through the actual operation. And in my head, I'd built it up like, oh my God, I'm in a hospital, I'm on my own. And I kept looking at the clock, like in 10 minutes they're coming, and I freaked myself out because I wasn't distracted. So I would bring somebody if you can, or just make sure you definitely bring a laptop and be prepared to wait and be prepared to be scared. So like, but I promise you, I promise, you don't feel a thing. It's so quick. And even now, like I am the day after I got out of surgery at 6 yesterday and it's 6 a.m. now. It doesn't hurt anymore. Like it didn't really hurt at all anyway, to be honest. I was taking codeine last night. I'm like jumping ahead, sorry. Hang on, the one thing I need to tell you is I got into the general anesthesiologist room and burst out crying because I was so scared. And then I told the guy, He was like, why are you crying? I was literally like, I've never done general fit before. I'm petrified. I'm really scared. I've been sat winding myself up in my room, like thinking about what this is. I'm really worried. What if it doesn't go right? And he, honestly, I was crying, like 36. I was crying like a baby. He was so nice, so good. Him and the male nurse were like bantering because they knew I was crying. Like making me laugh. It was so nice. So honestly, if you're scared, just say it and don't worry about crying. Like I was bawling. I was like, am I going to ruin my operation because my eye is, because I'm crying? And they were like, no, just chill, just like let it all out. And then he was like, cool, by the way, I'm just going to knock something into your like thing. The cannula was in at that point. He's like, I'm just going to give you some stuff. I was like, what's that? He was like, just going to give you some tranquilizer. So God knows what that was. But I promise you, before, like everyone's like, when you go general anaesthetic, you're going to do 10, 9, like none of that happened to me. I was laying down, they were making me laugh. It's like, I'm just going to do some tranquilizer just to make you chill. And then I woke up in the recovery room like 2 hours later. Didn't feel a thing, didn't wake up. Yes, apparently you have a tube in your mouth, because that freaked me out before when I was Googling, like, what happens with the thing? And I was worried that I have a breathing tube and I'd wake up. You don't, they take it out way before. You can't even feel it's in there. I didn't wake up once in the operation. I couldn't feel anything in the operation. I couldn't hear anything in the operation. I promise you, from the moment that he jokingly was he actually said, he was joking to me about coming out of lockdown and going to the pub. It's like, next time you wake up, you'll be in the pub. And then I was laughing and he was like, I'm going to tranquilise you. And I was like, oh yeah, keep me. Literally from that moment to waking up, went like this. Just that. Didn't feel a thing, didn't even know a thing, was fine. Like, and now I promise you, if you're nervous, and if that's honestly from someone that was so petrified, I would do it again tomorrow. I promise you that it's totally 100% fine. So then you come upstairs, when you come up, you're wheeled in a bed, which is hilarious. Feels like you're on Grey's Anatomy or some random program. Then you come in your room, and they actually let my mum come in. So again, 36, called my mum, told her to come and get me. So she was in the recovery room with me. They are allowed one person in the private wing at the moment per room. So she was with me. She got into the room at 4 when I was still I was still in recovery at 4, in the surgery at 4. And I came out of recovery into the private room at 6. So I was down there from 3 till 6. So I think it's like an hour and a half, maybe-ish, operation. And then the recovery took a little while because the porter was really busy, and it was more like they were chatting to me downstairs. It wasn't like a scary thing, they were just talking to me. When I woke up, I was talking absolute shit. I'm not joking. I think I was like babbling away. Then the porter brought me up, came up at 6. I had really nice food by 7. And once I'd eaten and once I had been to the bathroom, then they let me go. So I was out by 8 o'clock. But just to be prepared, 11:30 till 8 p.m. That's how long it actually takes. It takes a while. You're not in and out. But yeah, and then they've left a patch on. You have to sleep in this. So I haven't taken this off yet. So I thought as well that in the very first day you would know. I thought you'd see how bloody it is. You'd know if you had double vision. You'd know if it worked. But you don't, because you can't take this off until today, because you have to leave it on for a whole night. And then in about 2 hours, because I need to wake up a little bit, you have to bathe it, and then you start putting drops in. So in about 2 hours, I'm going to finally reveal whether it worked. So that's me. Ask any questions. I'm literally going to post real time what really happens. Honestly, ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth and make you feel better. Go and get your eye done. Do it.